I like to play with a lot of spinners. I bought that one, not that one, but anyway, it's a golden stitch. Come on. And so I wanted to try to make something like this. Obviously not of metal because I don't have that kind of stuff, but here we go. So I took the caps off of an old spinner I had to use on the spinner. And then I had this other spinner that the outer bearings popped out really easily. So I decided to use them in this. And then I had these other two bearings I just found lying around and decided to try them each out on the caps for no apparent reason. So that one worked okay, I guess, as a bearing should. The small one was sort of hard to turn because of just how small it was. And then I put them together on accident and then tried to pull it apart and it snapped. So that's fun. So I can't use those anymore. So I found two other little ones from a dollar spinner thingy I had. And so then I tried it on those. Big one, kind of big for it. It spun like a bearing should. So did the little one. The little one is actually the one that came with those caps. So, it kind of worked. And then I had these extra cards lying around and decided to use that as the material. So I traced out the bearing on the card. Then I traced the middle bearing onto the card. Then I matched both of them up with a line on both sides to make a prong. And I cut that out. And then I made another one after that, yeah, fits good. And then the middle one will go there. So then I traced it onto the card again to cut out the second and third one. So now I have three. Then I started to glue everything together. So I took the middle bearing and I glued one of the prongs to it. It stuck. And then while I was gluing all three of them together, I decided to touch my finger with the nozzle and burn myself. That was fun. So after I burned myself, I finished gluing them together. It spun really well. It was pretty nice. So then I started to glue the outer bearings on, and little did I know, hot glue does not stick to metal well. It just snaps off. So I decided to glue it to the rubber caps on the bearing instead, which turned out to work a lot better because I never had problems with the bearings falling off the wings ever again. So, yeah. And then I burnt myself yet again because I'm stupid. Anyway, that one fell off apparently because I hadn't glued it enough, so I glued it back on. And then, because the metal doesn't stick, it just broke off the middle bearing. And this was sort of on purpose and kind of on accident that this one broke off. Yeah. What do you expect? So I glued it back together and have all three of them together. And then when I was attempting to show you that it was too big for my hand and put the caps on, yet again, it broke off the middle bearing. Metal does not go with hot glue. So I decided to screw that idea. Instead of doing the tiny bearing, I took all the bearings apart and took the glue apart from the bearings. And then what I did is I took that red bearing that I pressed I took the caps from, pressed all the light up modules from them, and put the bearings that I took out in them. Spun really well. Sorry if it's a bit off. I'm just the way the voiceover is, I guess. And they popped in quite easily. I was surprised. And it was a really nice feeling spinner. Maybe I should have kept it that way. So I took the caps off the spinner with the bearings. You saw it. And I used those as the caps because the red ones I friggin' broke. So couldn't even have the red caps that it used to. So this was a really nice spinner. But I had a different idea. Instead of using those bearings, I was going to put them on the outside. So I decided to put the light things back in so it had some sort of weight in those circles instead of them just being completely empty. And then after I put those together, those lights are so annoying. I traced the circles out on the cards to glue them to the spinner itself. Then I glued all 3 of them on, and it looked kind of cool. And I ran out of glue, so I had to put another glue stick in. It's not very interesting. I don't want to know why I kept it in. Then I realized that I'm not covering the entire outer bearing, so I had to cut it out just to fit on the rubber cap of the bearing. So then I started to glue all 3 of those on, which wasn't that bad. Didn't really have any problems, besides running out of space on the card, so that one was really weird. Yeah, it went pretty smoothly to here. So then I glued the last one on. A bit weird, but... And it spun really well. And I stabbed the knife thingy in there, and it wouldn't come out. So I was trying to pull it out, and the actual knife part got stuck, so I had to take that stupid thing out. It's ridiculous. So spinner plan didn't go as planned, obviously, but like, subscribe, share it to your friends.